Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Charles with Black and Blue TV. When you guys get a chance, please like, share, and subscribe to the content because I will still be coming out with more playoff reviews, especially next week. And now our AFC matchups and NFC matchups for the championship weekend is set. Now, the Bills are eliminated due to the Bengals winning today. Not only did they win, they made that a statement game. Looks like they will be going up to Kansas City and playing the Chiefs next Sunday. And as well as my Cowboys, unfortunately, we did not get the job done today as we lose to the Niners 19-12. And actually, I believe that the Niners are going to Philadelphia next week, the NFC Championship. To talk about the Cowboys game, I know typical fans, they're upset. I know it burns right now. It's a burning feeling because I know everybody felt so good this morning and, thought that Dallas was going to come out with a victory. Well, unfortunately, we didn't. And, some of the blame, I know a lot of people want to put the blame on Dak. I put a majority of the blame on Dak, but we really have to look at Kellen Moore. A game with this magnitude and the types of plays that you called, honestly, I don't think he's an offensive coordinator. All season, we really have not had any type of flow to our scheme, which kind of hinders our offense. So even though Dak got hurt during the first part of the year, there wasn't really a flow to our offense. And I know we're a run-first team, with Zeke and, Pollard, the 1-2 punch, Thunder and Lightning 2.0. But for CeeDee Lamb to flourish in this offense without any type of scheme is quite astonishing. The reason being is because Kellen Moore has been on notice since, 2 years ago in the NFL when he first got the coordinator position. And let's be clear, I know people think that he was up for a coaching position. They didn't put him at coach because he's not a coach. He's barely even a coordinator. Some of the play calling today honestly was very egregious, especially in the second quarter. 2nd and 2, all you have to do is run the ball. I don't know why you're doing a short pass. Maybe it's because of the Brady ball effect with that video I'll be going into tomorrow. But more so, I did not understand that play calling. Now, I do understand, the running game wasn't the best, but we have to still utilize the run to set up the pass. I mean, it doesn't matter if we're averaging 2 yards a carry, 1 yard a carry, or 3 yards a carry. The reason why you run is to throw off the defense. So when you completely abandon the run and then go back to it, it really shows that you have no game plan or no sense of IQ when it comes to the offense. And, Kellen Moore should be put on notice. Not only that, he needs to get out of here. We need to start fresh because this is going to be the same problem next year and the year after that and the year after that and then so on. Cowboys fans, we really need to look at this from a perspective that we need to move forward from a bad relationship. And what I mean by a bad relationship is the same things happening over and over again and you're still staying with that person because you think one day that person is going to change. No, they're not going to change. They are who they are. Kellen Moore is who he is. He's not a great coordinator. He does not have a grasp of the game. And that's the reason pretty much why we lost today. Shout out to the defense today because the defense played their asses off. And it really sucks because we really do have a championship defense, but due to the lack of offensive productivity, especially in a game of this magnitude, that's why we're at where we're at. And this is similar because, Dak Prescott, last time I checked, I think he only made the playoffs 4 times? And out of those 4, how many wins has he had? 2? The only ones I could think of was maybe Seattle. I think, what was that, back in, 2016? And then this year against Tampa Bay. But all those other years, he hasn't done shit in the playoffs. And we need to be realistic about this because I understand, that some people, still believe in Dak. So let me ask you this. Are you going to believe in Dak for another 7 more years? I mean, he is a 7-year pro. He's about to be 30 or turn 30 already. So you want to wait another 7 more years with this guy thinking that he's going to bring a championship. Listen, Dak Prescott is who he is. He's a mediocre quarterback at best. Yes, he puts up decent numbers, but the numbers are middle of the pack. Yeah, people want to talk about his QB rating and all that stuff. Well, what happened to his QB rating today? Because he got outplayed by a rookie who's only played 6 fucking games in the NFL. Let that sink in. Secondly, Jerry Jones should be put on notice too. Even though he's the owner of the team, look what he's doing to the product that he has. He's bullshitting around with it. What do I mean by that? This offseason, we had the chance to get any type of receiver we wanted to, but he wanted to say there's some cap issues. Really? So that's why we got James Washington and had him for a majority of the season and then cut him and then signed T.Y. Hilton. Why didn't we sign T.Y. Hilton in the beginning? See, I'm starting to catch on to Jerry Jones because what he's doing, he's really becoming a snake oil salesman. And what I mean by that is he's putting out a bullshit product and upselling it to make us believe that it's going to be a championship product. Now, my question to you guys is this. If we're such a good-ass team, why do we keep falling out in the second to first round of the playoffs? We haven't had an NFC championship in years, let alone a Super Bowl. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the NFC championship first. But you have a team like the Philadelphia Eagles who pretty much go every other year. They have an offense that's great in the league. They have a defense that's consistent. But for the Cowboys, it's always we're missing something. And I believe that's the illusion that Jerry Jones is selling us, that saying that our product is good. However, we're always coming up short. Just let that sink in for a second. Another thing I'd like to add, this whole relationship thing, yeah, we need to start over. And the reason being is this. Coach McCarthy, he's had, 3 years here? This is the best we're going to do. We're not going to do any better than this. Actually, I think next year we're going to digress because, let's face it, Dan Quinn's out the door. And I don't blame him. Why stay with a team that's going to be mediocre offensively where you do everything defensively to put your offense in the best position possible to win the game? That defense played lights out today. And yes, George Kittle beat us on timely downs, but let's face it, the defense was out in the field for the majority of the game. Our offense couldn't do shit. And partly being that's due to Dak Prescott. That second or third drive we had, I believe in the first quarter. What the hell was he thinking? First of all, that ball was underthrown. That was right to the cornerback. Secondly, Gallup was covered. So out of the 7 years you've played in the NFL, sir, you still can't read a fucking defense. What is the point of having you on the team if you can't read a defense? Secondly, you don't look at your progressions. Now, I understand you were under duress. This is number one defense, but last time I checked, we're the Dallas Cowboys. We can play against anybody. You can use that as an excuse all you want. But the bottom line is, bro, you ain't it. And you won't be it. Maybe if you go to another team, you will be. But as of right now, the jury is still out on you. Because you're still a mediocre quarterback at best. You can't win the big game. You kind of remind me of Tony Romo. Without the back injury. But I'll let that marinate for a minute. Another point I'd like to add is that, this team reminds me of can't get right. And you know what I'm talking about. It's like anything we do, it's always something happening. Our field goal kicker can't make any fucking kicks. He gets his field goal blocked. Our offense can't move the ball. Our quarterback is just dumbfounded, doesn't know what to do. I mean, he made some plays today. I do give him that. I'm not blaming this whole game on him, but he needed to play better than what the fuck he did today. Because, honestly, that was bullshit. And if this person wants to be an elite quarterback, he's going to have to win a championship. You want to be like Tom Brady so much, why don't you win like him? Oh, wait, that's right, you can't because you're not him. You make too many mistakes. 2 timely interceptions to where the defense actually saved our asses today. And shout out to the defense because, I know how it is. It's hard to be on that field all game long because your offense can't do shit, because they don't want to do shit, because you have a quarterback who whose head's so far up his ass, he knows what he ate for breakfast last week and the week before last. And then you got an offensive coordinator whose head's in the clouds anyway, and he looks like Benjamin Button no way, so it doesn't even matter. You know, it's just disgusting to see that, you know, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones continue to put out this bullshit product and blowing smoke up every fan's ass about how the Cowboys need a championship, how the Cowboys need to do this, how the Cowboys need to do that. No, sir, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Matter of fact, why don't you do this? Why don't you put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor like you should have done years ago? How about you do that? How about you right the ship instead of bullshit? We know you're a salesman. We know you make money. You're very successful. We get all that. Cowboys are $1 billion team. Wonderful. But what about the fans that pay every year and that bullshit product that you put out? You know good and damn well we should have won that game today. But yet you still like to put Band-Aids over deep wounds. You thought James Washington was a good addition this offseason? Really? After losing Amari Cooper, and by the way, who had a great season this year, didn't look like he was old at all, did he? With 2 quarterbacks. And yet you sit up there, you know, you're watching practice. You know, you're going to the draft, you're going to the combine, you're talking to media, all to sell us a fucking dream. Honestly, sir, I wish you would sell the team to a person who's passionate about winning, to a person who wants a team to do well. Because the only reason you have it is, let's face it, you make money off of it and, you know, you can't let it go. That's why you hired your brother. That's why you hired, you know, not your brother, your sons. That's why you hired your daughters. And also your wife works with you as well in the Cowboys front office. Oh, best believe it, I called up there. That's why I don't have my Cowboys gear on for what? Why should I be associated with a mediocre team? Because that's what we are, mediocre. The name itself, the Dallas Cowboys, sells more than the team does. Let that sink in. You know, Jerry Jones did do a seminar years ago on how his team is 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, and how he was profitable of that. I suggest you people pull up that video and watch that. And that tells you everything about him. Because Jerry Jones just wants the money to get by. What do you think that AT&T stadium's for? It's not for the Dallas Cowboys. It's for so he can make money. Teams come there. Remember, Eli Manning came there and signed the wall when it was first built. There's no home field advantage at AT&T Stadium. Not like Texas Stadium. Because when teams came to Texas Stadium, they feared us. When teams come to AT&T Stadium, they're trying to see how many stats they can put up. There's a difference. You know, I'll go over the stats tomorrow about tonight's game, but it's just really frustrating to see Jerry Jones put that bullshit product out with that bum-ass coach who only won 1 Super Bowl in fucking year. And still root for this damn team. It's really sickening. And you have mainstream media always making fun of us like we're the fucking laughing stock of the NFL. Last time I checked, we were 5-time Super Bowl champions, but we're not like it now. That's because this bum-ass Jerry Jones sold us out for a couple of toys and a Happy Meal. You guys have a good night.